What's going on? And welcome to the MSG Podcast with that's movies with Sara and Garrison. And today we're going to talk about Akira, the animated movie.
It's on Hulu for those of you who have not seen it.
Or on YouTube, the 1989 version. Because I think the 2001 version is on Hulu. I saw that one, yeah.
Is that the 2001 version? Oh, maybe I haven't seen the original then.
That one's better, the 2001.
Okay.
Because in the 80s, when the first one was dubbed, sort of voice acting was taken less seriously. So the translation was a little butchered, and the voice acting wasn't so great.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm pretty terrified right now.
Why?
Because of this challenge that I'm going to have to face here towards the end of this podcast. I don't know. This is the first time we're doing this. So I'm a little bit terrified. That's where my headspace is at, in case everyone is kind of wondering why I'm not the same person I was on a previous podcast.
Those peppers look pretty dangerous.
Yeah. So we decided, as an extra bonus for some of these casts, that we were going to do a little bit of trivia towards the end of them. And Garrison here came up with some pretty good questions, I hope. Hopefully not too difficult, because I am going to have to eat really spicy peppers if I don't answer these right. So I'm a little bit terrified right now. So I'm going to just let off some steam before we go into our next subject.
I look forward to that part.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, what were your first impressions, your thoughts on the movie?
Amazing animation. Definitely one of my all-time favorite, I think, Japanese films.
Really?
Yeah, like, I really love Miyazaki, but he has a very dreamy style, you know, and I don't remember the name of the artist on this one, which is a big no-no for me. But this one is more, what's the word? Avant-garde a little bit. It's like Godzilla meets Bizarre and Twilight Zone.
Yes, so this is one of your favorite animated movies for the animation, or just
for the animation.
Okay.
Yeah. The style is really neat.
Yeah, definitely. What I've noticed in this film is that, like, the weight of the characters, like, it feels like real, like when they push against something, or like when they fall.
Yes.
It's really good.
I'm wondering how long it took them to make this film.
That is in my facts. We can talk about that towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. The movement was great. The visuals were amazing, and to know that this came out in '88 is just phenomenal, because even Disney weren't on this scale of animation at that time.
No, but the Japanese have been doing this for a long time. They know what they're doing, and everything in the movie, I think, blended really well. The color schemes of it were fantastic. There was some parts where I was questioning the motives of the directors, but I think it was because they wanted to add some of that weird panic mode for the audience. Example, I guess, would be there's a scene where the group of kids are kind of hanging around together, and then all of a sudden one of them starts throwing up blood, and they don't really explain why he's throwing up blood.
Well, he wasn't throwing up blood, he was hallucinating. Like, are you talking about the scene where the rival bike gang came in and ripped the girl's shirt off, and then
it was a little bit before that. Like, they were in school, they like showed their school, and it was all grungy and kind of shithole, and then like the girls met up with the guys, and they all kind of sit around and talk about where their friend's at because he's missing. And all of a sudden there's like this part where one of them just is like throwing up blood, and they do not explain that at all.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think that this film like suffered like pacing issues.
Yeah.
It like moved a million miles a second, and I really didn't have time to process what was going on because they moved to the next scene so quickly.
Yeah.
And a couple of times it felt like a scene was cut right in the middle, like without any resolution.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying, but they probably did a lot more animation than they really like had originally planned on doing. So they had to cut back for other reasons. Some of the film, they had to take some of it out. That's my only thinking.
Well, I have a couple of facts on that. Do you want me to bring that up now, or
No, you can
okay.
discuss it a little bit, but yeah, I mean that was one big thing for me. And it's a really long movie.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah, for an animated film, all hand animated. That's really long.
What I've like seemed to notice is that like anime movies are like longer, like animated movies are longer than like Western animated movies, like because they treat their films like feature films, like
Yeah.
2+ hours, and ours might be an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes.
I have a question for people that are listening. Now, do you guys think that our Western animation is geared more towards kids? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of adults that love animation, but I think there's a lot of adults that also don't like animation. And I think that's kind of sad. But I feel like adults in other countries like Japan and they really fully appreciate it. So I guess I'm just wondering, what you guys' opinions on that are.
Yeah, I think it's a cultural thing. Like we're taught in the West that animation is for children, when really it's just a different medium to like express an idea, and that's the big difference with in the East. They it's more embedded in their culture, and they have way more options and with things to absorb than we do, and there are adult animated things in the West, but they're like TV shows, like nothing really for like mass audiences, feature length.
Right. Yeah, I can't think of one that isn't a feature film that isn't just geared towards children in a way. Just a little interesting side note. Thought I'd ask everybody about that.
Yeah. Yo, let us know in the comments. We would definitely want to hear your opinions on that. But yeah, the amount of like activity on screen is astounding. Because are you familiar with cells and animation?
Yes.
Yeah, so they like do this stuff on cells. Like that's crazy.
That was one thing I was thinking about when watching it too. Like they did not reuse any scenes at all. Like none of the buildings, none of the backdrops. You could tell that every single scene was well thought out, well planned, and then drawn and not reused again.
Yeah, it's definitely put a lot of hard work in this film. And what you mentioned earlier about them like cutting some stuff out, like that ended up happening because they overshot their landing, I guess you could say.
Like their budget or
No, like they overextended themselves, like they
were so excited about it probably. They just like
Well, the director this was his first animated anything movie period, so he was inexperienced, I imagine. And yeah, this was like I believe the most expensive animated movie of its time. I think it was like about $10 million US dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what we could do with that kind of dough.
But when like when people die in this, they die hard.
Yeah, but it's weird because sometimes they've got blood and then sometimes they don't.
Really?
Yeah, like I really liked the hallucinations like you were talking about earlier. That the main character was going through. Some of them were super gory and just outright terrifying, and I think that was definitely the biggest catch of this whole film is how terrifying this film really is. It's a visually displeasing film, but at the same time so intriguing. Now, did you have any views about any of the characters? Like, who was your favorite? Who was your least favorite? Because I've got some opinions here.
I was just sort of, was trying my best to just absorb it and take it all in, but I don't think I had any favorite characters. Like, everyone was kind of a dick.
I'll say that's true. No one was not to blame for everything that had happened.
It's a pretty, like, scary world that they live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids are like 16 and they're riding motorcycles in a gang, going to school. That kind of sucks. Like, I mean, it's a shitty fucking world that they live in.
Hitting people in the head with pipes and stuff.
God. There's telepathic children running around that look like old people for some reason. Maybe we can figure out why they look like old people. Do you know why? Is that in your facts?
It's not in my facts, no.
Oh, man. I kind of want to know. So maybe somebody else can shed some light on that question for us. Because I want to know why they look like old people.
Well, we can talk about that in our analysis right after we finish this up. But
sure.
I have a couple more notes here. I think that this film is probably better watched subbed, I think, because watching it dubbed, like, the lip flaps were a little distracting.
I can say that's true.
Yeah. And also the eyes kind of bothered me. Like, I don't know, something about them were just kind of weird.
I was okay with that. It was like well proportioned, I think.
I think they were too close or something, like too close and too big or something.
Oh, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah, but you really had to be attentive with this film. You really couldn't afford to, like, look away too much, or you would miss something, because it's pretty packed with content, nonstop.
But yeah, it's psychedelic, lots of colors, lots of vibrancies, so much action in the way of, I mean, everything. Every scene had action. And that, I think it says something for the director. Kind of knows exactly what he was going for.
And just, like, the scale of the film, like, they had so many different locations and characters and things like that. It's really amazing.
Oh yeah, it blows my mind. So as far as the analysis,
Right, so you were wanting to know about the old people?
Yeah, tell me about them old people.
Or the young olds?
Them Benjamin Buttons.
What are my thoughts on, like, why they look like that?
Yeah, why do they look like that?
Maybe the psychic powers have, like, an effect. It, like, stresses their body out, so they age quicker.
Okay, that was one of my first thoughts too. I don't know. I feel like there's another reason behind it. I think it's like wisdom, because they seemed rather wise as far as character development is. They seemed like rather wise characters. So I think it was like they're children, but they're old and they're not super abusive of their powers. So it was like the wisdom of the elderly kind of feeling.
So it has nothing to do with their powers then? It's just like a thing just because?
I think it's more symbolic.
You're wrong, but okay.
I mean, so in the movie, there's a machine that they use, that the scientist uses to create these psychic beings, and that's supposed to be what makes them old. Now, there's like this weird part of it where it's supposed to be, I think, what is like a monitor to monitor the psychic energy that is coming
That little
from.
circle rainbow thing.
Yeah, to monitor that energy, and I could not figure out what the hell that doctor was interpreting of it, because at one point towards the end of it, through all the explosions, everything, he talks about how he can tell that this orb light thing was expressing that this was the creation of the universe. And I'm like, dude, how can you tell that that is what that is expressing? It is just light figments. And first of all, you were not there during the creation of the universe, so how the hell would you know that that was that? But he was fun otherwise. I thought he was an interesting character.
Well, I'll talk more about that in the facts, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about the kids had were test subjects, and they each had numbers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Akira, who we only saw for a brief moment at the very end, he didn't look old.
No, he didn't.
Neither did Tetsuo. So perhaps the scientists were gaining more information and were able to counteract the aging effects. Like, they became more efficient, and the side effect of age was no longer a factor.
That's an interesting thought.
But yeah, during my research, I found like the author was I believe like this film was his way of expressing his sentiments on World War II. Because in the very beginning there was an explosion, and then at the end there was an explosion, and Tetsuo's transformation is like the radiation that the people of Nagasaki and Hiroshima suffered from.
All of the panic, all of the weird not knowing what's going on.
And the mutations and
wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Quite an expressive film then, if that's really what it is.
And there were a couple of side characters, like the one like an old like kind of guy with like a big hairdo and the glasses, and like another guy, like a rat kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
They were there. Do you know why they were there?
No, I don't know. I don't know if there's much explanation for some of these characters. They gave some, even just passing characters, a lot of information to go off of. The person I was watching it with, we made a comment about how one of the characters in the police station expressed that he was only 25, and then we had this moment where like, we're 25 and this guy looks like he's like 40. That was one thing that we talked about too, is like a lot of the characters look old. They've got a lot of expression in their faces, a lot of lines, like the cheekbones, the laugh lines on the smile, and then, eyebrow lines, forehead lines.
Yeah. I would like to talk more about the analysis, but time had other plans, because like I told you last week, this was based on a manga with like 2,200 pages. So, and I didn't really have time to like do all of that,
to dive into it.
Yeah. So I think that's it for that section, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No, but I will manage. Okay, so what are these questions there, Garrison?
All right, so this is the trivia section of our podcast. I will ask Sarah a series of questions. Multiple choice is 1 point if she can guess the answer correctly without the multiple choice, then that's 2 points. Are you ready?
How many questions are there?
There's only 5.
5? Okay, go ahead.
100.
God, we're gonna be here for days.
Okay. First question. What year was the explosion that started World War III? Do you want multiple choice or?
Is there a multiple choice option
Yes.
for that one?
Yep.
I'm going to take it.
Okay. A, 1988, B, 1989, C, 1990, or D, 2000?
1988.
Ding, 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 ding.
Does that mean I win? Is that the ringing?
Yep.
The ding? Okay,
Yep.
okay. Cool. I wonder
Cool.
what the losing bell sounds like. Da-da, da-da-da-da.
Question number 2.
Okay.
What year is this movie set in? 2017, 2018, 2019, or 2020?
I'm going to say 2020.
Fuck!
Fuck!
You know what you do now.
All right, so I've got these peppers that are totally not spicy, but I put some spicy spice on them. I've also got some soy milk here in case I decide to die.
The answer was 2019, by the way.
Ah, that was like my second guess. That was like my intuition guess. Okay, hold on. I gotta eat this. Oh god, that's spicy. All right.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
I mean, this is. Okay, good. What's the next one?
Okay. Third question. What 3 things showed up when Tetsuo was hallucinating in the hospital? The psychic attack. Do you want multiple choice?
I want multiple choice on that one.
A, bear, rabbit, car. B, bear, elephant, car. C, cat, rabbit, car. Or D, dog, bear, rabbit.
D, dog, bear, rabbit.
Eh.
No, come on. That
It's
one.
wrong. No, it was a bear, a rabbit, and a car.
Oh, fuck.
Eat up.
I don't know if I should save this one. I'm gonna. There's like one on here that has like a lot of spice on it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna hold off on that one because
It's coming though.
I mean, I'm already 3 questions in, so there's only 5, and there's only 5 peppers here. But they're pretty spicy. Okay, hold on. Listen to that crunch. Okay, that one wasn't as bad. That was pretty good.
We're gonna need spicier peppers next time.
Oh yeah, we are.
I want you to suffer.
I really messed up this time. I got the wrong pepper.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, it's okay.
So you know how earlier I was talking about how the kids had different test numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, what was Kira's test number? Want multiple choice for that one?
Yes.
Was it 27? A, 28 B, 29 C, or 30 D?
I'm gonna say A, 27.
Eh.
No. What was it?
It was 28.
Damn it! I'm always one off. All right. Okay. You think that I enjoy suffering with as many of these as I'm getting wrong?
I enjoy your suffering, so same thing really.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Okay, next time we should have it so you can't drink any soy milk until the very end.
Oh, okay. It's like building up. You know how spice builds up?
Last question.
Yep.
Okay, after being struck by a satellite attack, Tetsuo flew into space to dismantle the satellite. What was on it? Do you want multiple choice?
Yes, please.
A, Soul 360. B, Soul 740. C, Soul 28. Or D, Soul 2000.
I have no idea on this one. I'm gonna guess because I'm a little bit distracted right now. So I'm just gonna say B.
You got it right.
I did? Oh yes. When in doubt, the answer is always B. Didn't. Shh.
I thought it was C. If, when in doubt, guess C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we had different teachers then.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our trivia section.
Oh man, I'm so glad I did not have to eat the rest of those peppers.
All right. I wrote a couple facts down.
Okay, let's hear 'em.
Yeah. All right. So the manga author Katsuhiro Katsuhiro Otomo also directed the movie. So like I was saying earlier, he was presented the opportunity to be involved in a film version of his his work, and he jumped at the opportunity because he was always interested in animation. But like I said, because of its length, characters, important characters in the manga were completely not shown in the movie, and 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 everything moved so quickly they really didn't get enough time, which kind of hindered my enjoyment a bit of the film, but it was still nice to look at.
Maybe we should get the manga so we can read it later on.
That's gonna take a while to read through.
Eventually.
Yeah. The movie only covers a fraction of the manga, like I said. This movie has over 357 colors used in it.
Wow.
50 of which were specifically made for the film. So they made 50 new colors for this film.
That's some technical advancements there. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And the reason it had so many colors is because most of this film happens at night, and more colors are needed for night scenes than daytime scenes.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Okay, here's a really crazy one. Over 450,000 cells were used, which is double the standard amount used in animated films.
Oh my goodness. And now this, mind you, this is not digital. This is all hand drawn and done the traditional 2D way. So, do you know how many years it took to make this? Is that in your facts too?
That's also another thing, right? Yeah. Here I have, so the movie was released in 1988, but the manga wasn't finished until 1990, so they kind of had to make up their own story for the movie a bit. Yeah. And two more facts. Bart Kira. Do you know what Bart Kira is?
No.
So I knew about this for a couple years, but I didn't really know the scale of it. So can you guess what Bart Kira is?
Is it like Bart Simpson as Akira? And he has this weird bloated looking thing to himself. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. No more peppers.
They so a group of artists, fans of Akira, adapted the entire manga and switched them out with Simpsons characters.
Oh my God, that is beautiful.
It's pretty amazing. I looked it up and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
We're gonna have to add that is a picture for this whole thing. Mm-hmm. This whole podcast is gonna have to be a picture of Bart Kira.
Final fact. Like I said, this movie takes place in 2019, right?
Okay.
And the final conflict happened. This was actually brought up several times in the movie. Is that they were planning for the 2020 Olympics. So, and the real 2020 Olympics is happening 2020 for Japan.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
That's right. Uh-oh.
What?
We're going to experience the creation of the universe in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've lived long enough. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, that's, any final thoughts, Sarah?
Final thoughts. My mouth is still on fire, but I'll survive. And this was a good movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. This movie has influenced many different artists and directors and animation in general. Definitely worth a look-see. And I guess we'll see you next time next week for Summer Wars.
Yeah.
That should be exciting. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you know anything about that?
Not yet.
Okay. Should be fun. Be sure to check us out on Patreon. There you can get our podcast and stuff 2 weeks before anyone else. So, you'll get you'll get Summer Wars and whatever comes after that right away. So, yeah, catch you then.
Bye-bye.